To start this message off, the feeling that I am getting is that the energy here is Phoenix rising, but also like the ashes are really important. Like the things that you have been going through recently, it's been like a wildfire. And there has been a wildfire to the old patterns in your life, the old thought forms, the illusions, the many different soul contracts that you've had. I think that soul contracts is a big part of this too. And so we'll start there. So with the soul contracts, many of you probably have heard of them, but I think that it's important to revisit them today because the veil is lifting right now on Earth. We are having this timeline split. All this chaos is happening. All this waking up is happening. But if you're with me right now, I don't feel that this is affecting you in the same way because it's like you've already known. You've already known all of this that's coming up right now. You've known the truth. You've known love. You've known forgiveness. And you've known, the truth about the systems and all these things going on in this human world that you came to visit and help in the shift of. And so I want to speak to you specifically because a lot of people are speaking to that chaos. And what's happening right now with the veil lifting and with the Great Awakening is that you have an opportunity now to let go of all the things that got you to the awakening first. And so those soul contracts were designed to help you fast track in this human experience to remembering, to having all the codes that you needed to have in order to help in the shift here on Earth, right? Dolores Cannon's work showed that, I forget, the percentage, but of her study in hypnosis of how many of us are here claiming for the sole purpose of helping in the shift on Earth. And so you probably feel a bit of like a foreigner and an alien here on Earth, and that's probably because you are one and you've been through different starseed origins and you've had many lives in other planets and you brought those codes here to Earth. And so your soul contracts, it's like you have this divine wisdom. You're so full of the truth and of the knowing and the remembering, but you still have been experiencing like these either health issues or experiences of lack or like this lack of love, I guess, like not being with your divine partner yet or your soul tribe yet. And so you're experiencing these things while also embodying the truth, and you're like waiting to leap into that timeline where it all comes to manifestation. The soul contracts have been the thing holding you, not holding you back, but like creating a disconnect in the vibration to make you the vibrational match. And it had to happen that way so that you could reach this moment right now with me talking about this, receiving this information. And if your inner being is saying like, yes, 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 then it's as simple as choosing that your soul contracts that are no longer for your highest good are now complete. And you say, I choose to end these soul contracts. Someone can put this in the comments below if you want, but I choose to end all soul contracts that are not for my highest good anymore. I choose that they are now transformed into the highest truth across all time, dimension, space, planes, and reality. Thank you, and so it is. In that space that is created from doing that, you might start seeing people's true intentions, seeing the truth of your reality. And I know it will be shocking when it happens, but don't lose focus on what you know and what you've learned. And so when people reveal to you their true intentions, or they change out of nowhere, like this happened to me yesterday where someone who I really trusted betrayed me. And I was just like shocked. I shook and shocked. Like, that should be like a shirt for this spiritual journey, is shook and shocked. Constantly. I love, also what's coming to mind is that video of like, it's so random, but someone's like in a canoe and they're whitewater rafting or whatever boat you're in for that, and it's like crazy rapids, and it's like me just going with the flow or whatever. But anyway, you're able to handle all of this because you're an infinite being having a human experience, and you've probably reached the point of the spiritual journey, which is like a big part of it actually, but it's humility, and it's finding the humor in the chaos of all of this. That's why on Instagram I love sharing memes and things that like make spirituality funny, because there's also a point in the spiritual journey where we get so like lost in it sometimes, and like the ego tries to identify with being spiritual. And what I've seen a lot of people talk about recently, which I love because I've gone through this too, where it's like you try and be the most perfect spiritual person, the most perfect healthy person, and then you reach a point where you're like, the most spiritual thing, I talked about this in a recent video, the most spiritual thing that I can do is have a glass of red wine in Italy while eating cheese and, you know, enjoying life and waking up and having a chocolate croissant. Like, I would have never done any of that well, maybe not never, like I would have done that, but not, you know, with the sense of freedom that I have now in my life and in my spiritual journey. And that's just like one example. But you go from like this ego attached place of like trying to be so perfect, and then like kind of missing the point of the spiritual journey, to then allowing yourself to have this experience here on earth and just like going with the flow as like the rapids are insane and everything, and you're just like ha ha la 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 la. And so you have these soul contracts that you literally just ended if you said that with me, or if you know, say it in your own way. And by choosing, because that is your most powerful thing, is your free will. So you choose to end these because you no longer need them. The world is like ready for you, and you're all charged up. You got all the lessons, you got all the spiritual muscles strengthened, and you're like in your truth. You got the codes, you're like the frequency, you're the lighthouse, you got it all going on. And now you get to just like go be, right? The whole point of this is this shift right now, this timeline shift where we're moving into this new earth, and we're moving into the 5D where things are easy and abundant, and like creativity is the currency, and where we come back to nature and we come back to enjoying life. Like, I just keep seeing Italy because I love Italy, and I'm getting ready to go back to Italy. I haven't told you guys that, but I think my time here in Ireland is coming to an end. I feel that, yeah. I don't know exactly what Italy is going to look like this time. I'm also not like completely positive that it's Italy, but I do feel like that is the place that I'm getting called. And I might do house life in Italy. I have so many things that I'm kind of like moving through, especially like with all the, now that I've been ending cycles and patterns, and like things have been literally the ashes, like the wildfire that has been going through all the patterns and the illusions of my life, like the last bits of things have brought me to this moment where, you know, I gotta say goodbye to the van, leave it here in Ireland, decide if I want to bring the glamping tent. If you guys haven't seen, I moved my glamping tent here in the hay barn. I'm on my family farm here in Ireland, if you haven't been here for a while or if you're new. And so I've been living in Italy. I'm an Italian resident, and I've been living on this animal rescue there for a year and a half. Love it there. I'm a board member. My horses are there. Zima is there, the dog who has lived with me for the past year and a half. And so I have so much heart there, but you know, my van dying and I just like decided not to keep trying to fix it. I've towed it 14 times in the last year and a half, and it's been towed through more countries than it's driven through. I finally was like, this is forcing. Like, this is not New Earth energy. And so I accepted. I was like, okay, this is the end. It came to Ireland, made it all the way to Ireland, broke down at the ferry, got fixed, drove a little bit in Ireland, then literally broke down on the farm, and I could almost feel it be like, I just want to rest here. Like, I just want to live here. And so, R.I.P. Saoirse / motherfucker. And then I have to decide if I want to bring this tent with me and like all the stuff in it. It's like things. It's so funny because when I left America, I decided to sell everything that I owned except for 2 suitcases, like 2 and then a small one. And then I acquired some things here, not a lot, but like it's the things that kind of hold me back from where I want to go next. And so I'm like, do I want to bring this giant ass tent back to Italy and live in the tent, which will be really cold in the winter? Or do I want to maybe do house life a bit, buy the farm and get to be by the farm, by my community, but also have the luxuries of like being in a house again and continuing to heal my ankle, because I have the ankle injury that's like getting a lot better but still needs some time from my accident with my horse Ladybug. And so I'm like, wow, I feel the rise. Like, you've probably had many Phoenix risings in your life, but this one right now is like the one that's happening, how do I say this, like in alignment with the world shifting and the timeline split. And so it's like your biggest Phoenix rise that you've ever had, and you're about to experience this whole new way of being on Earth, because Earth is going to be all new as well. And you've like let go of all these soul contracts, and so literally things are going to shift like crazy. And so like I'm open to that's where I'm being guided, but I'm also like, okay, it could be something else and we'll see. Maybe it's still van life, but I'm also feeling like I love van life and I love being on the move, but I also love like being grounded in certain seasons, especially like in the winter. I feel like it's very nice to be grounded and to have routine and to have predictability, like a hot shower, which I have here, but it's outdoor, and like sometimes the wind blows out the flame and it's not as nice. And so the Phoenix rising is where we're at, and the soul contracts are being erased. The other part of this is the Akashic records. And so today I had this pull to go on this journey of going to Amenti. And so if you guys like get comfortable on this pallet that I'm sitting on, if you guys have probably heard me talk about, maybe you've gone into your own deep dive of Amenti, the halls of Amenti. And so the halls of Amenti, it's like where a lot of the wisdom of this world is, where we can access so much of that. And so I went on the journey to the halls of Amenti, and Thoth, I think it's Thoth, was there with me, and this lion was there with me as well. Felt kind of like the lion in Narnia, Aslan, and I have my dog named Aslan, which is also kind of like, you know, the embodiment of Jesus in that, but also the embodiment of unconditional love. And so they were with me down there, because last time I went down there on my birthday in March, it was like a very interesting experience, because I felt like a fragment of my soul I was shown like had been like kind of was betrayed, really like betrayed, and I was betrayed, and a fragment of my soul was like trapped down there. But then, and there was like a lot of betrayal that I felt. And this time I felt a completely different experience of it. It was kind of like that soul contract thing that we're talking about right now, where it didn't even like, I couldn't even see the betrayal. All I could see was the divine plan of like what had happened with my soul fragment being down there in this chamber, this crystalline chamber. And it felt like I was like harvested into this like this part of myself was harvested into what it needed to be for this time on earth. And it was all with perfect timing, and that's all I could feel, was like how perfect it was. My camera just died, and so I've been using my camera again, which I really like so far. It's a different process. Like, if some of you, I know actually quite a few of you are either on YouTube or want to be on YouTube, but I usually record with my phone, mostly because I'm lazy in ways, but also I like the quality of the phone. It's fine, but I do prefer using my camera. I bought my camera years ago for being on YouTube, and then I like didn't get started at that time. But yeah, anyway, it's just different because you have to consider the battery, and it's a different way of charging the battery, which I know sounds simple, but it's a new process, like a new workflow. Having an SD card, I usually edit on my phone and like cut off like the ending and the beginning and like add clips together if I have to on my phone. But with this, I have to put it on my laptop and edit it there or send it to my phone. It's a completely different thing. Anyway, in Amenti, I wasn't seeing the haters. Like, I wasn't seeing that evil pharaoh that I saw the first time who locked me in there. I was just seeing what I had become because of it, which was beautiful, and I was able to embody it. And I'm sharing this because it's maybe something that you could go on, like if you wanted to look up an Amenti guided meditation. I think that it was like, if you look up Amenti and Akashic records, I think it was like a Russian accent, or maybe it was an Asian, I don't know, I actually didn't really pay attention, but it was a different kind of accent that this woman had. And I was able to get there to the halls of Amenti. I like doing guided meditations for it. I will definitely make one for you guys soon. If you would like it, let me know, comment Amenti below, and I will make a guided meditation of Amenti in the halls of Amenti and accessing the divine wisdom down there. But anyway, I was able to like embody this frequency and like really bring it in to my body in the presence of Aslan and / Jesus / unconditional love and Thoth. And it was just crazy because the last time when I went to the halls of Amenti, I was like instructed to like crack this egg open, and I didn't know anything about Thoth at that point. Like, I've been guided to like very slowly learn about Amenti over the past 10 years, and Thoth was like came out of the egg which I was like, whoa, like this is crazy. And then just today, like I connected the dots because I think someone helped me like understand that after. But then today when I was looking at a graphic of Thoth, he's this bird creature, so crazy. And so anyway, I embodied it and I carried this new frequency forward. And last time I was feeling trapped down there, and like my reality was very much in alignment with being trapped, you know, broken down van, injury, like all these different things that were like showing me in my perceived reality that pattern of being trapped. But today I like literally went down there, was like, yep, embodiment, be big, phoenix rising, wings on my back, like okay, hello. And then I walked, I said love you guys, see you later, walked up the stairs in the pyramid, got all the way up, got to the main hallway entrance, all the beings there, I was like, what's up? And I like walked out of the pyramid with no problem. Last time I was trapped there, couldn't do that. And so I walked out in this new frequency, and I could feel myself entering Earth as it is now, and in the shift and the timeline that we're in now. And then I felt like that version of me like come into my current physical body. So fascinating stuff, really fascinating stuff. If you guys have ever had journeys to Amenti, let me know in the comments if you feel comfortable sharing. If you do it and then you have a experience, I would love to hear about it. I read all of your comments, and so I love hearing about that kind of stuff with you guys. You're the coolest people ever. Like, I literally love you guys so much, because having this outlet, I don't know how I ever lived without having this outlet, because I get to just say all this crazy shit that's not crazy, and you guys get it, and you guys get me, and somehow I'm always, like almost always, brought to the right audience, I guess. Like sometimes there's people who maybe, like if I have a, like I've said before, but if I have a viral video happen, it will send to the wrong audience sometimes, and then they'll leave these like comments, and I'm like, well, that's so interesting, like that's not my people, but so many of you are, and so it's really a gift to be able to do this. And Arlo says hello. Yes, we say hello. Oh, he says, I have this little brother now who's freaking huge, and sometimes he annoys me, and sometimes I hate him because he takes all my mom's attention, but then when we're playing, I also really love him. Am I speaking Arlo's language? So, I don't know, I just feel like, you know, I feel the veil is lifting for the world, and I feel that like you're ready, like you've been harvested, like you're fully baked, and your soul, like your essence within Amenti, and also within the Akashic records. So like that was the other part of this that I wanted to touch on, is the Akashic records. And so that's also, you know, this place, this, yeah, I guess we'll just say place is the best word I can think of right now for it, but it's this place that you can go to access all the divine wisdom of the world, of all your lifetimes, of all the patterns and things that you've ever experienced, all the bodies, the forms that you've ever lived in. And so you can literally go in there and you can like pull forward the record of whatever you need, of abundance, of health, of love, and then you can integrate it into your body. And so that is also a part of this. And so I feel, you know, as you remove these contracts, these soul contracts, you say, I'm done with whatever is not for my highest good anymore. You then get to go like claim, because you have the space, you go claim it's so good. You go claim the highest potential version of you who has everything that you want, all the love, the abundance, the health, the ease, the freedom to go live the life that you want and be the version of you that you want and be around your soul tribe and like be done with this void and this isolation and all these things that you've been going through, the dark nights of the soul, the chaos and all that, because you know you're ready. And so you get to go embody that now. And it's not just like embodying and waiting in the void, and embodying and waiting in the void. It's having the space for that to actually come into your life now. So I encourage you to go on this journey of clearing the soul contracts. And then even if you don't do a guided meditation, just going to your highest potential self within the quantum field, within Amenti, within the Akashic records, claiming it, bringing it in, saying like, I own this, I claim this, I am this, I remember the truth of who I am, I remember my path, I choose to live in alignment with abundance and ease and grace and health and love and joy and freedom. Thank you, and so it is. And then walking out into the world and being that version now. So I love you guys so much. Again, comment Amenti if you want me to make a guided meditation, put that on YouTube for you guys. And if you want to join me in any of my programs, I think Decondition is the best program right now if you're ready and committed to do a 12-week program with me. I've had some really great feedback recently. I'll share some of it on the Decondition page. I have that written down to go do, but I've had some really good feedback of it literally changing people's lives, and they're not the same person that they were when they started it. And so I think that's exactly what we're talking about, is moving through the illusions, clearing the blocks. There's an Akashic Records week in the 12-week program in Decondition, and so I will link that below. I also have all my 21-day programs, 21 days to rewire your mind, know your divine guidance, wildly wealthy, acne free, and healed, which is 21 days to regulate. So that's for chronic illness. So I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next video.